Right, now the final leg of the Moshoeshoe Walk is currently underway, and this commemorates, of course, the legacy of the Basotho King Moshoeshoe and attracts both local and international participants. For more on that, we now cross to our news anchor, Palesa Chubusi, who has been missing in action here in Johannesburg, but now we found her, and there she is in the Kingdom of Lesotho. So tell us about this famous Moshoeshoe Walk.
Hi, Peter. Very good afternoon to you and the viewers. Yes, so this is a historic walk where the Basotho nation really get to retrace the steps that our King Moshoeshoe walked from Mengwaneng. That is where the walk officially started on day one. So we are now at the final destination. This is Thaba Bosiu. So I don't know if my cameras will be able to pan to my right and show you this Thaba Bosiu. That's the mountain that the place is named after. So what happens is that it's actually been an annual event. It's been running for 14 years this year. That is where you get a number of people coming over. So I was just in conversation with the organizers a short while ago, and they were basically saying that they have seen a number of people, really a high number of people having taken part in this year's event as compared to the previous years. This shows that the walk is indeed growing. So as it is now, they will be coming to this place in a short while. As I said, it's the final destination because today it is the third and the final day, Peter. It hasn't been easy, I must say. Day one, I completed that 1.4 kilometers. Day two was a bit difficult because they started in the morning at 4 a.m. and finished at 10 p.m. I could not be part of that one, but of course I did a bit of walking this afternoon from this morning, leading us to this final destination.
So, Palesa, a lot of times with these kinds of walks, people like to dress up in traditional clothing. Was that the case with the Basotho here?
Not this time around, Peter. We do know, of course, you will always find a bit of a blanket, a bit of a Moshoeshoe fabric here and there when you come to Lesotho. But this was the attire for the past 3 days. People wearing, comfortable clothes, comfortable running shoes. Because what happens is that you don't just walk on the main roads, Peter. You go via different terrains, mountainous, and it was raining on day one. So there were no blankets this time around. There were no Moshoeshoe fabric. It was just what you see me wearing now, very comfortable clothes and very comfortable running shoes.
All right, tell us a little bit about the camaraderie and the atmosphere along this walk. These kinds of things tend to bring people together, don't they?
Yes, indeed, Peter. You have people from, in fact, all walks of life. It's not just your Basotho nations who are here. You have people coming all the way from South Africa. There is a lady from Zambia that I spoke to a short while ago. You've got people coming from Namibia. So it really has turned out to be an international event. It's not just celebrated by the people who live here in Lesotho. And as I said earlier, that it's not an easy one. So you get a bag of mixed emotions on the way. Some people get tired on the way. Some people, they get injuries as well. But you have ambulances and medical staff, medical personnel on the way as well. So it's not as easy as it sounds. And a lot of people were also saying that you need to prepare for this walk as you prepare for the likes of Comrades Marathon, for instance. I took it for granted, and it's not a nice thing.
All right. So you're at the finish line. What's expected to happen once people have arrived? Is there some kind of celebration later tonight?
Yes, indeed, Peter. We are at the final destination, as I said. So the King, His Majesty Letsie III, was also part of the entourage, as well as Her Majesty the Queen, Me Masenate, was also here. So what will happen is that when they get here, I suppose you'll have your the final speeches like we did on the first day of the event, where there were formal speeches taking place. So that is what is expected to happen. There will be celebrations, of course, for those who were able to complete the walk for the past 3 consecutive days. Some, of course, they didn't, but yeah, for those who really did well, we'll be celebrating when they get here.
All right, and perhaps to start wrapping things up, the coronavirus, we know that there's one confirmed case in Lesotho, but there was all this news floating around about borders being closed. Give us some clarity about the situation, because it looks like it didn't stop people coming to the Moshoeshoe Walk and going through the whole ceremony.
Yeah, indeed, Peter. I had a chat with an official from the Foreign Affairs a short while ago, really trying to seek clarity on the communique that we saw circulating on social media, which was basically indicating that no one was allowed in and out of Lesotho. It is not the case. But what the Cabinet of Lesotho has decided on is that officials, government officials and officials from parastatals in Lesotho will not be allowed to travel to other countries, will not be allowed to travel out of the country. So anyone else, we were able to come into Lesotho through the Kelden border post. But what I can tell you is that it looks like precautionary measures have actually been put in place, because when you get to the border post, you get a sanitizer, you need to wash your hand, they ask you questions, they take temperature. And it was also the case here. At almost every a finish point, you get ladies with sanitizers for all the people who are taking part in the walk. And then there's also running water to make sure that they sanitize their hands and also wash them. So from the little that I was able to see from the walk, really precautionary measures were indeed taken into consideration. But of course, yes, as you said, the conversation that I had with the minister responsible for tourism was that they are still awaiting test results from one suspected case of coronavirus here in Lesotho. The other one came back negative, but they still are awaiting results from the National Institute for Communicable Diseases.
All right, Palesa, thanks very much indeed.